today?
Sure.
Because we're feeling silly. No, I didn't do it, Nate. I didn't have it ready. Let me upload this, Bob. Feeling crazy today.
I know, I'm a little tired.
Alright, let's go to Facebook. Watch, we'll be able to see ourselves. Yeah, we will be able to see ourselves. So did you watch that AI video yet?
I didn't know. You sent it to us?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like it. I don't like AIs.
Yeah, that is a little crazy.
It's crazy, ain't it? It's crazy. It's the craziest. Boom. Alright, I just shared it. Alright. Let's pull up this video. This robot video. As we get more people coming. We got 3 people now. Just submit your questions. Tell us what's up.
You know what I can do?
What can you do?
Periscope on the Twitter, I can copy that and send the link.
What do you mean?
Like I copied your tweet, the link of the tweet, the Periscope.
Yeah.
And I copied it in my URL and it worked like that.
Ah.
Wait, did you put it on YouTube again?
It's on everything. It's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch.
Twitch?
ATL News. ATN News.
Wait, we're on Twitch now?
Well, Twitch is... oh, no, not Twitch. We were on Twitch. And I took it off Twitch. Should we go on Twitch?
I think we should.
All right.
I just feel like
I'll stream it to Twitch. I can stream it to Twitch.
Coffee's on with Marco on.
I think we gotta let the audience know. We need questions from them. It's their show. We just sit here and drink coffee.
That's not
entirely true.
No.
It's our show. What do you mean? What do you make of this? What's going on tonight? What games we got on tonight? We got Missouri basketball, of course. Let's see. I'll look up some NCAA men's basketball. Talk NFL today, because there's some news breaking out. I already talked about the Julio Jones possibility. Bleacher Report put out there. A lot of big games on Sunday. Playoff implications on the line. Let's go to the playoff picture. NFL playoff picture. Talk about the craziness there. All that's coming to life. What's crazy to me is, that Giants and Cowboys game, what we know is the winner of that one is going to be focusing hard on the Sunday night game, Washington. They're going to be, rooting for the Eagles in that one. Sure. And I think that's just crazy. I think that the NFL perfectly scheduled Week 17. I think they did an excellent job doing that.
Yeah.
And I can show you why here.
But they can also change their schedule. They can also change their change the games, right? They can flex the games, and with
it's already been flexed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's not the original plan. Well, no, because you never know what Week 17's matchups are going to be until you get there. And so I thought, the flexing that they did with the times was great, because now we'll know what the AFC picture looks like by 3:00. Uh-oh, we got a new friend, Ryan.
Bibbs.
Bibbs?
Yeah.
Bibbs. You don't call him Ryan.
Sometimes. If he says I look grimy, it's because I got a shower. That's what I'm doing.
See, I thought you were showering this morning because I heard music and I heard the water flowing from the sink.
Again, you hear music, and who's that going to be? That wasn't me.
Oh, yeah, that's our other roommate. He already left for work. All right, but anyway, NFL playoff picture. I don't know. I think people know what's up here as far as this one.
All right, what do we want to know? Babes, you're in here if you have any questions.
Yeah, have any questions, or else we're just going to talk, and people don't like that.
I was itchy. No one else is in here.
No, I know. If if I do this, what will happen? Will it go to that? All right.
Yeah, but I don't know if the vote
So
works.
what's crazy with me is the Steelers are going to start Mason Rudolph. So that means, let's say the playoffs are set the way it is now. They would be playing the Ravens in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
If they win, Buffalo. See, we haven't heard anything about Josh Allen, have we? We haven't heard whether or not he's going to be sitting.
And I feel like if
I feel like that if who's their backup? Matt Barkley.
I don't know.
No, that's who it is. It's.
Probably.
I just don't think they have a good chance against the Dolphins because the Dolphins are playing for more. Because right now they're the highest wild card seed. They're trying to keep that spot and win. Colts, all they need to do is win and rely and hope that one of these teams lose.
Well, who would you rather play? Tennessee, Pittsburgh, or Buffalo?
If you're the Steelers?
No, if you're any of the wild card teams.
Tennessee,
Pittsburgh or Buffalo.
If I'm a wild card team, I want to play Pittsburgh. Because they've had
or Indianapolis. We can throw Indianapolis in there if you want.
That's not a wild card team. Oh, divisional team, yeah, because they still have a chance at
the whole division. The whole reason I'm saying that is because you said Miami's the highest wild card. Well, what if they don't want to be the highest wild card? But I don't know if they can choose that.
Logan jumping in with the questions as we take a look at the playoff picture. Welcome back, Logan. Logan Evans.
Yeah.
It's a good photo. I like it. I like the shirt.
Work.
I like the shirt.
They're at work. Both of these men are at work right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
The working men?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, man.
Paying our bills for this stream.
Yeah, right. Terrell's our working man. No. I like the shirt, though. I love a good, some people go with a solid color.
Mm-hmm.
I like when people go with the polka dot.
What about the unbuttoned? I go with the
know you like, and I told you before, you look good with the unbuttoned.
Yeah, that's my, maybe I should come,
You rock the unbuttoned. But in the NFC, is there any good teams? Well, yeah, the Packers. The Packers have been the best team in the NFC, in my opinion, since week 1, before the season even started.
Yeah.
And they're going to finish the season probably 13-3, maybe 12-4, because I need to stop riding the Bears, man. I feel like that.
Why would you ride the Bears?
Because, not riding them to the Super Bowl, but I at least want to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, but,
Because Arizona, I bought so much into at the beginning of the season, and they just disappointed me since. I don't think they really can do anything to play. I don't think they can do anything in the playoffs.
I think in the NFC, I think the Packers are the best team. I still think Seahawks with Russell Wilson, right? I think that's still a good team. Mm-hmm. Regardless of how they've played, that's a good team. New Orleans, I'm not sold on. I know Chiefs already played them. It was a close game. I'm not as scared of them as those two. Who got rolled by the Bucks? Packers?
Yeah, Packers did. But that was the middle of the season.
I don't think they'd get rolled again. I think if they... I'm saying out of all the teams in the AFC. But then kind of jumping back to that next question, are you scared to play anyone as Chiefs? This is true, at least in the AFC. I would expect the Chiefs to win every game they play healthy against anyone
I think
else.
what we have is two different conferences here between the NFC and AFC. I think the AFC has stronger teams and has more Super Bowl contenders than the NFC do. The NFC, I feel like the Super Bowl contenders, you got 3 teams here, and that's a little bit of the Seahawks. I'm adding the Seahawks on there with just a little bit of confidence because I still don't trust that defense enough. But the Saints are for sure, and the Packers are for sure. I'm still iffy about the middle of the road. But
I don't think the Saints get to the conference championship.
That's fine because Drew Brees has shown us that they can slip up. They're going to have to rely on Alvin Kamara in the playoffs. And, when you go up against a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with such a good run defense, it's going to be dangerous.
Is the NFC full of frauds? The Packers Logan says Packers have 2 wins over teams above 500, maybe 3.
I like where he's coming from because let's jump to the Packers schedule now because he's not wrong. The Packers do have they certainly don't have a resume that the Chiefs have built if we're looking at the 2 number 1 seeds if we're going to compare them.
And this might irk all of us if we're the only 4 people in this stream right now, but the Packers might have the MVP.
They do have the MVP.
Whatever that's going to mean, I don't know. Maybe that really doesn't mean anything, but.
The case for Patrick Mahomes' the argument that a lot of people I feel like would go off of is what Logan has pointed out, and that's the strength of schedule and the strength of wins that Mahomes has over Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, they creamed the Titans, which is a respectable team. They do well in the AFC, but yeah, they beat the Panthers, they beat the Lions, they beat the Eagles. 4 of their last 5 wins have come against teams. 3 of them are not even going to be in the playoffs. One of them is on the hinge of that Week 17 on the fence. They lost to the Colts in overtime. But yeah, Logan makes a great case, but I feel like at the end of the day, regular season and postseason are 2 different things. And something that in a narrative that I've been going off of this whole season is which team was better prepared based off where they were at the end of last season, going into a season where it's the word unprecedented. Haven't seen it. Haven't had COVID. Haven't had a pandemic season than ever for the NFL. And I feel like that's what the Packers. I feel like that's what's going to help the Packers in the end is that they're better built than the other teams based off, a roster and based off experience. Because what do we like? What do we like to talk about so much? The psychological of sports. Mm-hmm. We love talking about the psychology of sports. And
like momentum.
There's no one out there with a better
What's up, Pavan?
winning mindset than Aaron Rodgers.
Momentum's big.
And that's what I'm rooting for.
Momentum is important.
You're right. And that's why Washington, if they get Alex Smith back, they're going to be a dangerous team too because of that defense. And you can get someone consistent like Alex Smith.
Dangerous as in dangerous for their first matchup.
Dangerous first matchup.
Dangerous first matchup. If they get Alex Smith back, then I'm going to be watching that first matchup. Nothing more. I think they won't advance past that first matchup.
Who's that? The
Washington.
Oh, okay.
The
So
football team.
I took the screen down, but if they win, let's say the playoffs start with what we got, they'd be playing the Bucs. So yeah, that would be a tough first game for Washington. But I also think it'd be a tough first game for the Buccaneers.
But since we're still talking about the Packers, Ryan's asking if they've addressed anything on defense, or did they just take an additional step on offense?
As far as this past off season, or what they've done during the season so far?
Sure, both.
During
what did they address? Last year they were NFC Championship team. All they needed was to get past that last hurdle.
Let's check it out. Let's check out the Packers. What killed the Packers in that game?
San Francisco's defense. I can't. You know what was happening during that game? I was still riding a high. I was driving home. I wasn't.
What high were you on?
The Chiefs going to the Super Bowl.
Looking at it, let's go ahead and look at the defensive stats because what killed him in that game was San Francisco's ability to run the football. What was the score of that game last year?
They lost by a good amount. It wasn't close. And it wasn't close early. I remember coming home and there was still time on the clock.
It was 37-20 49ers in that game. Well, yeah, because 49ers were up 27-0 at half. Aaron Rodgers had 2 interceptions. I think he had a bad start to that game. Let's go ahead.
Because they ran a lot. San Francisco ran a lot. So it was that running.
A lot of clock. Let's look at the time of possession.
So that's going to be.
I think that once again, that was just a bad matchup for the Packers.
So that's a smart, right? Ryan saying they ran a lot.
Yeah.
That's a smart defense, maybe the best defense in the league last year. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a
smart team. Is there a team that has that good of a defense in the NFC?
I want to say the Saints, but the Chiefs kind of exploited that, and they don't have as great as a run game.
I wouldn't say the same. I mean,
the Buccaneers are young on defense, but they got a good front seven.
So no one is like San Francisco's.
No one, not last year. No.
So if that's all that stopped the Packers, granted you said 27-0.
So I'm looking at the drives from that NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that finger up like that.
What?
I was like that to you. I was like,
I didn't take that I don't take fingers offensive because I grew up. I know pointing's bad, but like my fingers do whatever they do. So fine.
If you're like
actually in Iran, because pointing's bad, they point a lot with the middle finger. So a lot of times, if I'm trying to show something like that. There's a story. My grandpa was once caught by the cops, and he was trying to explain to the cop.
With his middle finger?
No, I didn't do that. I did that, and
it became a whole ordeal.
Okay, yeah,
No, but so the Packers did not get a good start to that first game. They went out and had three of their first 4 drives were punts, and then that fourth drive being a fumble. They had 5 drives in that game, 3 punts, a fumble, and an interception.
Who's this? Packers.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also let's remember that Matt LaFleur was going up against Kyle Shanahan in that game. It was just a bad matchup
Okay.
for the Packers.
So what we're saying then, Logan's saying Rams is the best defense, but yeah, not the same.
Yeah, but
run
here's
game.
the thing: what is their offense going to show?
Yeah, no,
up?
that's what you said. Not the same run
Yeah.
game, right?
Okay.
So that's the thing. Packers, what stopped them? What was their kryptonite? It was the 49ers defense. They don't have that kryptonite. And the story of the NFC isn't going to be is there one dominant, one scary team? No. It's just going to be like any other season, like most seasons. Who's going to be the last one standing? And I've said all along who's going to be the last one to host the game. Because I know home field hasn't been that big this season,
Mhm.
but I feel like whoever's the last one to just be at home in that NFC Championship game, I think they're going to take it. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's just going to be the last one standing. In the AFC, it's a whole different story. And this isn't because we're Chiefs fans, because most of the people here are Chiefs fans. AFC, it really is. We tried to talk about tiers yesterday, but we could just say it's Chiefs against the field.
Yeah.
Everyone else wants someone else to beat the Chiefs. Because if someone else beats the Chiefs, if we start crying before that championship game,
Yeah.
then that opponent's going to be licking their fingers because they're playing against a team who just came off beating a 14-2, a 15-1 team, the best team in football.
It's kind of like the Tennessee Titans beating the Ravens last year. Huge.
I
huge
said all
for the
along.
Chiefs.
I said all along. All the Chiefs need to do is not play the Ravens. And what did they do? We had people in our ears saying Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. What happened? They beat the team who beat the Ravens. That's all. That's all you need to do, and that's going to be the same thing for the other AFC teams. In terms of tiers, you have Chiefs, and you can probably say what? Honestly, I'd say Bills, Steelers,
Mhm.
and then everyone else. As a Chiefs fan, kind of out of everyone else, the only team that sticks out to me that I wouldn't mind playing the least is the Dolphins.
That's good because Logan just asked where the Chiefs most scared of in the AFC. So you say the Dolphins.
No. I'd say
Oh.
I'm least scared of the
least
Dolphins.
scared. Okay.
Not that out of all I'm thinking of Kansas City. I'm thinking most scared of. Yeah, I think Ravens is I don't want to play the Ravens.
So that's who you're scared of the most then.
I mean, to answer his question, if I'm actually scared of someone, I'd say Bills or Ravens. The only thing about Steelers is I'm a big person on these old teams, old quarterback, polished coach,
Yeah.
good teams, although they haven't, other than last week, they were on a 3-game losing streak. Are they going to show up in the postseason like a lot of these smarter, experienced teams do? The only thing is, even though his age is young, the Chiefs might be at the epitome of the experienced, polished teams. So I'm not afraid of that reason of the Steelers anymore.
Yep.
And the Steelers growing up, I was afraid. They always beat us. But
Yeah.
I guess, Ravens or Bills. I think, Logan, you hit that on the head.
Ravens because momentum.
Ravens because momentum.
because
Say it louder for the crowd.
momentum.
Momentum.
And they have a little chip on their shoulder because of where their season was in the middle of the year and now where it is at the end of the year. What people were saying.
If they
about
play
them.
the Steelers, they'll beat the Steelers.
Did you know that Lamar Jackson is going to be the first quarterback ever in NFL history to have back-to-back 1,000 yards rushing seasons if he gets like 61 this next game or 91 rushing yards? But the Ravens, momentum. Momentum is what I'm worried about, and the Bills, I would say, is as a Chiefs fan, I'd be worried about the most. That's the team that, is the Ravens from last year. That team that the Chiefs don't play. But then again, I'm very confident about that matchup going against Buffalo if they played each other in the AFC Championship. But the only reason I'm worried about Buffalo now is because of how much Josh Allen has improved as a quarterback since that Week 4 matchup. Because what's so great about Steve Spagnuolo's defense is that he can design and scheme blitzes that either are obvious, too obvious, or sometimes are very sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now you can't throw Josh Allen off his game because if you do, he has that ability to improvise like we see in Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
So I think that he's grown in that direction as a quarterback, and that's what's going to make him great because we knew the arm talent was there, the accuracy was going to get there, but now that he has the ability to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, that's just that. If a quarterback's got that, then that's a game changer. That's a game changer.
But I should say this.
Okay,
I-
okay, Ron.
that-
Okay, Bib.
That I should say this. Ravens and Bills, yes, are we the most scared of them out of the pack? Yes, them. But
Who do you think? Who are you worried about, Bibbs?
I don't think that doesn't mean I'm like I'll be so scared if I play them. Again, I still expect the Chiefs, just like I said this season, I expect them to win every game because that's how good they are.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean they will win every game, but that's how our expectations have changed in the last 10, 5, 3 years. That's what it is. That's the fact of the
No
matter.
longer are we scared of a playoff matchup because of
Sure, momentum with them, it might be a little scary, but I would still expect to win. But to answer that question again,
I just
that's
think
what it would be. It's
I
those two.
just think if the Chiefs face the Ravens again, would it be as easy as that Week 3 game? Because that Week 3 game this year was the easiest Chiefs win against the Ravens the last 3 times that we've seen Mahomes and Jackson go up against each other.
They're starting to get argument with each other. He said no one. He said he's not, and I agree. I mean, I agree to that. I'm kind of agreeing with both of you. I'm not afraid of anyone because afraid would mean I would expect to lose.
Yeah.
But out of everyone, it would be those two, and out of everyone, I don't want to care about the NFC until we get there. But out of everyone, I'd include Packers in there too. But that's all. That's kind of the case close. Doesn't mean that they won't hurt our feelings. They won't shock us later.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the fact of the matter. At least we really won't know who's going to have a chance to play Kansas City because Chiefs can either play the 4 seed, the 5 seed, the 6 seed, or the 7
Yeah,
seed.
let's take a look at how that would look like. The Chiefs, because Chiefs we know have a bye week right now, so they're the matchups that they're concentrating on the most are the Ravens and going off what the playoff is now. They're looking at the Ravens Steelers game and then the Browns and Bills game they'd be playing the winner of the 4 and 5 game.
No, they are
Unless Ravens or Browns win.
No, this is what it is. This
Okay.
is you want me to draw it?
Draw it on the board. Here, go to the Armand cam for a close up.
But the Armand cam never has good volume, I think.
Volume? We don't need volume. We just need a camera.
You need to go to the Armand cam.
Alright, draw it up for us.
So right, who do the Super Bowl
I feel like I'm back in grade school.
champs play? Is that good handwriting?
Yes, Professor Armand.
Can we read that? Are you sure they can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the mic's on here.
It goes to here.
Or you can unmute your mic if you want. Let's see. I'll turn on the volume. Yeah, your mic's still on. So,
Did 7 win? Does that make sense? Did the 7 seed win?
yeah, 7 seed would be.
Yes
Yeah, 7 seed is the Browns.
or no?
I'd say no because they're playing Buffalo.
Okay. So no?
No.
Yes?
Yeah.
7. They play the 7 seed. No? Did 6 seed win?
Yeah, Baltimore against Steelers. Well, we can do yes and no here. This is what mathematicians do. They dummy it down for us. Look at this.
It's easier to think about it this way. The handwriting sucks. I get it, but no. Then who's it gonna be? Winner of 4 verse 5. If it has to be simplified, that's how it is.
That's what happens when you're the 1 seed. You can play any team in that.
And this
the
year, that's how it is, right?
All right, move this up. There we go. Oh, yeah. Go.
Right? So it's going to start with who do the Super Bowl champs play? Who do the Chiefs play? Did the 7 seed win? Yes? You're playing the 7 seed. No. Did the 6 seed win? Yes? Playing the 6 seed. No. Then it's the winner of 4-5. And I don't know who are the teams in right now, but let's say the 7 seed is, I don't know.
It all goes back.
Basically, the Chiefs can play anyone except the Bills or Steelers.
Yep. Basing off how it goes.
And
Colts
that's what
don't
it
change.
is.
What we were talking about before the show was sorry, I'm on cam. What we were talking about before the show was in the yearly awards. I think it was Field Yates. He puts together a column every year, then gets votes from the NFL executives on who they vote for.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, I had it in my head. I had it all in my head. Now I'm gonna just look it up. Field Yates executive votes. But I think that executive of the year was the Bills executive. The coach of the year was Sean McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. What you doing? Oh, your
I
mug?
was showing my mug. Lily got me the mug,
Yeah,
Has my name on it.
that's cute. Oh, no wonder. She said I like the mug. But offensive player of the year, I think it's. Hi, Mom. Mother. Travis Kelce's the offensive player of the year this year.
Okay.
Do they just do one offensive player of the year? It doesn't matter what conference they're in, right?
Mm-hmm. Just one.
This one, yeah, he's your offensive player of the year, and Aaron Rodgers is your MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Because last year he wasn't even supposed to make the conference championship, and this year he's gotten a better record for the Packers, and they're the favorites in the NFC to make the Super Bowl this year. And like we talked about, they're my pick to go in. I don't know. I think what'd you say? Your pick was Seattle at the beginning of the year.
I think I said Seattle.
Which is fine. That's
Tampa Bay.
They come on another level come playoff time.
I think I said Seattle, Tampa Bay. I changed that now with playoffs. I would say, I mean Green Bay. That's who I would think is the team to beat in the NFC. But
remember what you were telling me how history repeats itself, and you did that big historical research on what was it you went back to the 1980s and how something in like 20 years ago is gonna show us that the Packers and Seahawks are the NFC Championship matchup this year. You had shown me something like that back at the old house.
I forgot what that was.
No, but that's all right. But
trying to find patterns and see
Yes.
if it would repeat itself. Yeah.
and we've seen the Seahawks and Packers take on each other before, and last time the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl,
And they
played
did it in the
Packers.
playoffs, and they did it in the playoffs last year. In the divisional round, Packers won.
Mm-hmm. They played the Seahawks last year in division?
I think so.
Possibly. Yeah. 49ers played
The
Miami
Vikings.
Vikings. Yes. Yeah, because they beat. Look at that.
The Saints, yeah.
Boom.
That was a crazy game.
What team takes a big step next year, like the Dolphins this year? That's a great question. Let's
Maybe.
talk about the teams who haven't made the playoffs yet.
Chargers.
Yeah.
Dolphins. I'm trying to. Ravens can take a big step next year. Chargers.
Cardinals were a team this year that took a big step. but,
Dolphins. Ravens.
the Chargers are a head coach away from being a playoff team, I believe. They are 6-9 right now. I think they'll go seven. I think they'll finish the season 7-9 when the Chiefs are.
6-9 now. They went.
I just think Justin Herbert's too good of a quarterback to not.
And they got good pieces
and they
too.
got good
They
pieces
have good
around them.
defense. They have top. They have good players.
It could be the Chargers. Bengals. Let's see what happens when Joe Burrow comes back. Focus on the defense.
I
this
just feel like they
offseason.
still need more, just a little more time.
Are the Texans an offensive piece away and a head coach away from being that team next year?
Again, the Texans are just the Texans. The Giants, I mean, they'll get Saquon back. That's the thing. I know their division sucks, but they didn't have Saquon, and they might still win the
And
division.
how will Daniel Jones look next year? I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's going to be the Carolina Panthers. I think that Matt Rule has what he did this last draft in drafting mostly defensive players. The offense is not entirely there, but it's close. I mean, what can you expect without having your best player on the team hurt for the majority of the year?
The Jets. I'm kidding. The Jags. I would say I think the Chargers.
Chargers for you.
Panthers is good.
Panthers. Let me look
I
at
think the
draft order.
49ers. They didn't have a quarterback. They had a lot of injuries, and they're 6-9 in a really tough division.
Bibbs wants to know why you picked the Giants. Why are you saying Giants? Or maybe he's asking Giants? Question mark.
No, he was saying Giants.
Okay.
He said that before we said Giants.
Let's see how Daniel Jones
That's why I
is for
said
another
Giants.
year.
I said Giants because of him.
Gotcha.
I think Giants is a good. I mean, I think those are all good ones. But
Looking at
Chargers would be my answer. I feel like Chargers would be a lot of people's answers.
looking at the draft board right now, can we say Miami made such a big jump, and I feel like they're only going to make a bigger jump this draft. But so Carolina right now is a top 10 pick in the draft.
And then what pick does Miami have?
3, the third pick in the freaking draft. They have the 3rd and the 23rd. Jacksonville, I'm a big DJ Chark fan. The defense has taken a hit over the years. What should the Jets do with the number 2 pick?
I like that. Because the Jags
What do you
obviously
think?
are
What
going to
you
get
got?
long. Who should the Jets pick? Well,
What can a 2-13 team with no vision of the future
okay.
do with the second and
So
27th
I don't know
pick?
my Jets, right? I don't really know a lot. Who do they have? What position is not a need?
Defensive tackle.
Okay, Quinn Williams, right?
Yeah.
Is there any other position what position is mediocre?
All right, let me tell. Well, it's mediocre in what sense?
So like
Mediocre is in you can put
what
it.
I'm trying to say
no one's
is the
gonna
reverse
question.
way of saying what do they need. I know quarterback's going to be the top other than quarterback. 'Cause
I would say your defensive front 7 is fine. Your linebackers and your defensive
so
line.
your defense
Because CJ Mosley should be back next year.
So imagine
They had a lot of guys on the IR.
Imagine if with that too, and they also have Seattle's pick.
They got
Imagine
Joe
if with that too, they either trade down just a few spots if someone wants to get a quarterback. What I'm trying to say is I don't think they need to get a quarterback number 2. What about wide receiver?
Yeah, and that's
Help Darnold. And there's some top receivers.
mhm.
There might be a Heisman winner.
So you're saying trade down and get a receiver, or
I
you're
mean-
saying get the best receiver? Because
Because
You
they're
can-
like,
you can go and Google mock drafts, and there's some good receivers going in the top 10. I think I saw about 5 wide receivers going in the top 10.
that's a lot.
And
Jamar Chase.
not every mock draft is right. The draft doesn't always go as planned, as we all know.
Listen, there are 3 big ones from this website, but these are the big ones. Jamar Chase, right?
Mhm.
LSU guy.
Mhm.
We know teams are going to be looking at him. Devonta Smith, AP Player of the Year,
Yeah.
Heisman nominee, and the other one is
Our favorite to win the Heisman.
is his teammate at Alabama, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Where they go in the top 10, at least 2 will go in the top 10. Who knows if they go in the top 5, right?
Logan, you're absolutely right. They're a defensive coordinator, a head coach away from having an
They're
all
half
right.
a football team away.
Well, can you at least get some coaches that know what they're doing? I mean, Greg Williams sucks as defense coordinator, and I think he got fired because of that. What happened in that Oakland game? Adam Gase is not a head coach. Should not be a head coach in the NFL at all. I don't know what qualities he has that makes him a head coach. Other than I don't know, I got nothing. Yeah, they have Mims too. They drafted Denzel Mims. He's going to be on the rise. But I think what you have to do here is just mimic what the teams are doing. Buffalo went out and got Stephon Diggs, and their team improved. Not saying the Jets are in a position that Buffalo was in last year, because Buffalo was a playoff team last year, a wild card team. But look how much they improved just from a single signing or trade. I think they traded for him, traded for Diggs. If you're the Jets, build around your offense. The defense is there, and it will come. Your offense, though, you got a quarterback that can play in Sam Darnold. We know he can play. We've seen film.
And I've been seeing arguments are like,
give him a team.
Why would you
don't
get a
give him
quarterback
Frank
now?
Gore at running back? Go out and get a running back.
Why don't you wait next year to get a quarterback? Just try something with, because they get one of these top receivers, whether it's a Chase or it's a Smith.
What sucks is if I'm New York, I'm also saying go out to the free agent market and see what you get, because this next year you are going to have how much in cap space? 2021. I love Spotrac.
They have Mims.
Yeah, they drafted him.
See, I think.
All right, if your highest contract is $85 million in CJ Mosley, I would assume you have some cap space.
Get a wide receiver. You can trade down. You do a trade. You get other picks. Trade down, and you're going to get one of those three. Don't forget, I don't know who needs a tight end, but Kyle Pitts out of Florida. They say tight end's his position on the paper, but he's any type of receiver. The Florida tight end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's an offensive weapon.
Butts?
Pitts,
not Butts.
Close.
There was a Butts though 1 year. Jake Butt, I think was his name. But yeah, Pitt. But I'm curious to see where he goes with tight ends, because they had him high up there. It's an interesting one. The Jets are going to be an interesting team to watch, though. But usually they shoot themselves in the foot. Atlanta with the number 4 pick. We just saw today Bleacher Report announced that they want to use Julio Jones as a trade piece. I think that's smart. All right, for bad teams, it's not a stupid idea to follow what the Raiders did. And we talked about this last night when we were talking about the NFL draft. That year when the Raiders had 3 first-round picks, and they got their defensive tackle, they got their running back, and they got their
someone else.
Was it Reuben Foster that they drafted? No, maybe not. That was our freshman year.
What was it?
Sophomore
2018 NFL draft.
They got someone. Look at that. Danny chimes in and says the Jets can get Sammy Watkins. I guess is a 2-week value piece. Does Sammy Watkins even want to go to New York? That's another thing. Who wants to go play for the Jets?
If you get a good paycheck, because what if they say, hey, mister, I want to pay you a lot because you're a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
See if they'll take Robinson off our hands for that second pick. Let's go look at it. I'll make sure I'll pull up the NFL free agent list for this next year so we know who is available and who's not available. Because I thought the Jets could go after Matt Ryan or Matthew Stafford if they really wanted to, and if they wanted to trade Darnold to someone. But I don't see the chances of that happening because I don't see those two guys wanting to go spend the final years of their NFL career where the quarterbacks go to die. Let's see what we got here. As far as free agents go, I'm done looking at the Jets.
The also big guy in the draft is Penei Sewell, the offensive lineman from Oregon. He opted out this year, but
they had the Chargers draft. A couple mock drafts had the Chargers taking him.
Well, he's the top O lineman.
All right, so we know. All right, AJ Green. I don't think he's going to want to go to the Jets as well. I'm just looking at all this now. But Dupree's going to be. There's a lot of free agents going to be out there next year. Jacoby Brissett's going to be leaving Indianapolis.
They could really.
What does he do? What has he done that year?
If they could trade a few spots down, get something, and get a receiver. They really could.
They can get who, the Jets? Yeah, I think you don't need it. I don't think you need that second pick right there because you're not going after Justin Fields. You're not going after. You could go after a wide receiver, but you could just trade a couple more spots down because I see a team in the Detroit Lions who I think could restart at the quarterback position. That may be the team that you're looking at because I don't see Atlanta going after another quarterback. I think they re-signed Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan's going to be 36 next season.
Hey, LeBron James just turned 36 today. Anything's possible.
Who should the Chiefs draft? Well, Danny says draft LSU wide receiver. I don't know which one.
He's going off the mock draft that he saw which is understandable because how much If Sammy Watkins is gone,
Yeah, no.
Cole Hardman has not developed into that number
Hey, you need
two.
you need a receiver. Well, you know what I believe. O line and receiver. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
You have a $500 million investment.
I'm with Bill Pelini on this one. Unless the offensive lineman is outstanding and it's remarkable and someone that we have never seen before.
Bill
Polian
or Bo Pelini.
Bill Polian.
You mix the two.
Those old white guys. That do NFL and have some stupid takes sometimes. But Pelini or Polian, whatever. Polian.
Polian. Isn't that his name?
Polian,
Bill
the
Polian?
former Indy front office guy. I think that he was right when after the Chiefs drafted Eric Fisher with the number 1 pick, he was like, "Why? Why did they do that? Why are you taking a lineman with the first overall pick?" And that's very true because Eric Fisher was not a valued number 1 pick in that draft. So yeah, I don't like the idea of the Chiefs taking a lineman in the first round unless he is just someone with just some insane talent. Because I think that you got someone like Lucas Niang in the 3rd round who I think is going to be stellar when he plays. He chose to opt out this season. So take an offensive weapon. You got Clyde in the 1st round this year. I say get another wide receiver. Keep improving on the offense because Chiefs fans, the notorious ones on Facebook at least and Twitter, the Chiefs offense isn't living up to its potential apparently. And I'm like, and I think they're living up to their potential, but they're not living up to their max full. And that's fine because it's the NFL. You're not supposed to reach your maximum height of scoring because of the Chiefs.
Right. We have Niang and the doctor coming back.
Yeah. So get yourself an offensive lineman in the middle of the rounds.
Okay.
Get yourself.
I just want an offensive lineman in the first 5 rounds.
Or get you a
in the
linebacker.
First 4 rounds. That's what I want.
Get you a linebacker that can play coverage and can tackle. You know, someone that sticks out.
Or get a receiver.
I think that's the old way. Starts with the old line. It starts with the quarterback and the head coach now with building the NFL team. I understand the offensive line mentality because you need someone to block the person that can throw the football. But
what about a pass rusher?
Yeah, well, no, I believe that in order to rebuild your franchise, you got to get yourself the head coach and you got to get yourself the quarterback because we've seen now how much that relationship is important between the head coach and quarterback. The pass rusher. Well, you just said the pass rusher. You need someone that can rush the quarterback and make them uncomfortable. Offensive line will come. But yeah, the Chiefs do need work on the offensive line. It's no question about that. When does Baker play? Oh, DeAndre Baker? I don't know. That's an in-house thing. I don't got those type of connections. I don't know who to talk to about that.
He might play next week. That's what Arian was trying to say.
The secondary is he can play this next week to get him ready. I think the secondary has been kind of fine with Ward, Breland, and Snead. God, Snead. Excellent blitzer.
I'm looking at PFF, so that was just the website I picked. Their draft rankings. And I mean, with their wide receivers, they got 5 wide receivers in the top 18. Not saying that doesn't mean they're going to go in the top 18, but that means you have 5 probably first-round quality receivers. And who knows if a couple are going to drop. Minnesota's Rashad Bateman, Purdue's Rondale Moore. There's one guy who people are going to... North Texas. There's a receiver out of North Texas. I was looking at the stats. He balled out. Jalen Darden.
I'm looking at there's this website called Draft Tech. Mm-hmm. I'll share the screen.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they do multiple mock drafts for teams, and they have 12 already done for the Chiefs.
And
so the last one that they did was they got let's see, pop up on the screen. StreamYard, get it? Pop up on the screen.
And
there we go.
Before he gets into that, you're right,
Yeah.
Babes, right? You said Burrow has the quarterback, and then he thinks you have to start with the O-line. I think the O-line you build with that quarterback, but the thing Mahomes had is he had already an average O-line. I think this O-line is an average O-line. So it's not terrible, but he had some pieces that were becoming average, becoming good, becoming Pro Bowl. So you're right that the O-line's really important. We both believe the O-line's really important. But with those 2 guys coming back that Danny said, like, it keeps us as average, maybe above average. I do think we should have a top 10 O-line because we have Mahomes, but
You're right. No, it's good to invest in your offensive line, but I think it's not worth the first round investment. Maybe you get the second round, third round.
I want to hear your draft stuff, but can I talk about this Jalen Darden guy?
Yeah, talk about Jalen Darden.
He played 9 games for North Texas this season.
Okay.
1,190 yards, so almost 1,200 yards,
Uh-huh.
over 100 yards per game. 19 touchdowns through 9 games.
19.
19 touchdowns. That's amongst the top. And look, I searched Darden. Look what comes up. His speed. Let's see how fast he is. He capitalizes on his speed and his quickness.
Oh, someone's hungry. Someone's hungry for some darting.
Uh-oh. I am hungry for... Okay, so he's 5'9" and 174 pounds, so I guess he's small. But he's a fast guy. People are going to be looking at him. I don't know. I'm not saying Chiefs will be looking at him, but that guy, Jalen Darden, he's going to be somewhere. He's going to go somewhere.
You know, they like speed. They like speed a lot.
And
I think that's why they drafted Hardman over Metcalf in that draft. A lot of teams did. Chiefs weren't the only one that did.
But I was interrupting you on
No, you're good. No. I hadn't heard that name come up yet. Ooh, got some stomach on the screen.
Sorry.
All right, so looking at this draft day, we'll close that T-Mobile ad. We're not sponsored by anyone. All right, so it looks like they did one up here, and it's Creed Humphrey,
Okay.
Oklahoma offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Sage Surratt, that was one I thought that was surprising. He's playing today, actually, in the Mayo Bowl. The Mayo Bowl. It's the what is it? The Duke's Mayo Bowl. The third most popular Mayo company in the country. We found that out today. Duke's Mayo. They're
Oh,
playing
this
over there
is
in
someone's
Carolina.
full mock draft.
Yeah, someone's full mock draft. Got him in the second round. So they're going offensive line and then receiver in the second round. But it looks like they're staying. It's a pretty spread out draft. The Chiefs have.
So 2 offensive linemen, a receiver, some
sounds-
defensive pieces.
And he's playing today too. The Jack Sanborn. He'll be playing today as well in that Mayo Bowl.
And that's what I mean. Veach finds these diamonds in the rough. He doesn't draft the best player. He drafts whoever he wants, who he thinks is the best available. There might be 20 people better than him.
Talk about this last draft though. Man, that was his best draft right here. We haven't even seen what he's done yet. We know what he can do. Magdana is a nice filler in on the edge. He had a nice play reading the screen this last week, forcing Gurley out of bounds. Bo Pete, still haven't seen much from him, but we know he'll be a nice piece. They traded back into the draft just to get him. Looking back on that second draft that he had, hadn't much noise from Kalen. Thornhill's had his issues. Fenton's been a good addition, a nice pick from the 6th round. Darwin, Nick Allegretti.
I'm kind of counting the last 3 drafts. What, you can correct me. You had probably around 3 players in each draft. The last 3 that kind of more immediate impacts, or if, at least within the 2 years impacts.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference that we're looking at this 2018 draft.
Look at how it values though. I think that's a value, RB value. The reach, they call them all reaches.
Oh, this is the
Reach, look, they all said reach. He said Juan was a valuable pick, and he showed out, and then he had that injury. Look, Patrick Mahomes, reach.
But like that's what Veach does, and I know he
Yeah.
wasn't GM, but he was that was his pick.
Yes.
He's responsible for Mahomes.
It says they need a tackle. So look, they agree with you on this, Bibbs. They need to focus on the offensive line,
Yes.
with tackle and center, and then you start working with the median pieces. They need to find that backup tight end though, because
They do.
that's something that's kind of hurt this team. Yes.
They do, but I think that hits it. Offensive tackle,
Yep.
offensive weapon, and defense. Those are 3 needs.
They're going to go into this offseason too, wanting to work on the Badgers.
Protection,
contract.
weapon, and defense. That's what you need. That's a life lesson.
After you got your head coach and quarterback. Wait, hold on. That's a life lesson.
Yeah, they need protection.
No,
Right?
you need protection.
hmm They need their weapons,
Got to have your weapons.
and then they need a defense.
Second Amendment. And they need the defense.
So we've been talking about football the whole time.
Yep.
Danny wants to know about Mizzou.
We'll find out tonight. I ain't talking Mizzou basketball.
You don't want to talk Mizzou basketball?
And that Bradley win was too close to squeak by.
Hey, Bradley, you can't sleep on Bradley, okay? They beat KU 2004, 2005. All I remember is my uncle, who's an MU fan. The next day,
Yeah, my uncle is an MU fan.
Yeah. It's my Uncle Matt. My mom's brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he likes MU. I know, and that.
It's because he's from Missouri.
Well, he lived in Missouri. Yeah, he lived in Missouri. Yeah, he lived on the Missouri side. You're
There
right.
you go.
They're from Missouri, I guess. But yeah, I remember that Bradley team. Ever since then, you can't. Not that I watched the game. I just remember the aftermath. But
I'm curious to see. Drew Smith kind of let off the gas. It was just a bad shooting day. That they had shot 21% from the field in that game. They were lucky they got away with it.
and it's not like Mizzou hasn't been tested, because I would have said that argument till I looked, and right, they beat.
According to Jesse Newell, they had been
Illinois.
tested, but I ain't gonna beef with Jesse Newell about that.
No, I mean
He's
the
got his
thing
reasons
about
and they're
Jesse
fine.
Newell, he does that reason all the time.
No, exactly. He's consistent with it, and I didn't like that people were going after him for that because, he has his own ways of voting. Like John Rothstein, he had Missouri at number 7, and I was like, what the heck? That was high. But like Tennessee, I don't know much about their team this year, but this is their first true test tonight.
Tennessee.
Yeah, because
They play KU in January.
they do play KU in January in that SEC Big 12 Challenge, which I'm not even going to get into that because it's like, how do you not schedule the Border War every year for that? That's your one opportunity. Missouri's playing TCU in that challenge, which is fine, but
They
Damn.
just want extra because that's the
Make it more
obvious
fun.
game.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now with the border war coming back,
no
they're
one
supposed
expected
come back
Missouri
this
to be a
season.
top 10 team, a top 25 team this year.
Notre Dame, I'm assuming you're talking about college football. They have no chance. I guess that game's coming up, in 2 days?
Shoot, yeah, we did talk about
They probably don't have a chance, and I wish they did. Because I'm tired of Alabama every year, and I've always been tired, but that's just how they are. I'd love to see Notre Dame win. Notre Dame wins, drinks on me.
They play Clemson or Alabama.
No, Alabama.
I don't know why they didn't just do a rematch at that. Do a rubber match. I think Ohio State should not be playing Clemson right now. That was such a here you go.
What
Here
if
you
Ohio
go.
State wins?
I'm gonna be pissed. They should have done a rubber match between Clemson and Notre Dame. I would have liked to have seen that, and let Ohio State take the punishment of playing Alabama. You guys didn't play enough games. Your conference decided to give you a Band-Aid to get you in. Well, let's start the season late and then cut the game so our team can make it. It's just so stupid. They are the silver spoon-fed team this year, and it pisses me off because there's other teams that could have had a shot in this playoff.
Bama's favored by 20. I say take
Because
the
they're
first.
going to beat Notre Dame.
I say
They're going to kill
take
Notre Dame. It's going
take
to
the
be
first half spread Notre Dame.
It's going to be the
Close game first half.
It's going to be the national title game all over again. You remember how much of a runaway that was for Alabama?
It won't be in the first half.
That was the Orange Bowl, I believe.
It's
that
going to
year.
be close in the first half.
I would like to see Notre Dame put up a fight, but
I hope they're
I'd like to
telling
see them.
themselves
I'd like
that
to see them make it.
they got to be telling themselves that everyone's doubting us. Everyone says we aren't good enough.
Touchdown Jesus needs to show up that day.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus. It's frustrating when the better game was Notre Dame and Clemson. Let them play for that. Let them play for who gets to play Alabama, because Ohio State, they just gave them the easy route. And I hope that Clemson knocks the teeth in on them, because Ohio State should not be in the playoffs this year.
Well, we have a New Year's Six Bowl today.
I could say bitch on this. They're a bitch ass team.
Yeah, we can. It's only like 8 people watching. Oklahoma, Florida. The Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl.
I'm curious.
Is that how you say it? The Cotton Bowl.
This is a test to see what Oklahoma team are we going to see this next year? How are they going to end their season? Because if they end on a win this season, I expect them to come back next year and be in the playoffs.
Oklahoma is a 7-point favorite. A touchdown favorite.
Is Trask not playing?
Yes. The over-under
Is
64
Pitts
and a
not
half.
playing?
I think he is.
I don't know why they have it such like that. I guess they think it's going to be a shootout.
Well, yeah. Florida's on a 2-game losing streak.
That's why Trask because his Heisman resume has kind of gotten we talked about the Heisman, how your AP player of the year, your wide receiver, he's gone up, his value's gone up. It's because the quarterbacks have kind of dropped off. The BYU quarterback lost his game. Florida's quarterback Trask is just kind of.
Well, the four finalists are the wide receiver, was it Smith? Is that his name? And then Trask. Was it Mac?
Logan coming
Smith,
in with the research. Oh, not that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course he did his research.
Dang.
Okay. So that's why.
Dang, they're like Cleveland then. That's really interesting.
So then you're taking Oklahoma then?
I don't know who I'm taking. I'm not taking any of the teams. I'll watch the game. I can't confidently say that Oklahoma's going to win this game because I honestly don't know. I didn't even know Florida was missing its
I was
4
kind of
receivers.
asking Logan because I
Oh.
assumed he did his research.
Oh.
But you don't know. That's okay. I don't know. I was looking at this game last night. I was just trying to see what games are on. Do I have any picks?
Yeah, we got the Florida-Oklahoma one. I think the only big basketball game on tonight is the Missouri and Tennessee one.
Tennessee's a 4-point favorite.
That's fine. You know what? Going off because you don't know which Missouri team you're going to get.
Florida opened at -3.
We
Oh,
got Alcorn State and
wow.
Baylor. What?
That's funny, Danny. KU's playing in the toilet bowl. I do not have any parlays upcoming.
The toilet bowl. The toilet bowl.
I think
yeah.
last week I had Bills and Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I finally won one.
That's something we need to do. We'll get you guys some picks for today.
You want some picks?
Let's text Terrell. Get Terrell's picks.
I just wait for him to tell me.
Oh, he tells you now. It's like that.
Yeah, because he said that, because I asked him for 3 straight days, and he's like, it seemed like I was bothering, so I said, okay, whenever you tell me. So I just
Oh,
wait.
it's a feel thing. All
But
right.
if you guys need, no, I just
I would take
realized
Baylor to cover.
I'm not going to ask all the time. You know?
I think Virginia Notre Dame will go under. Missouri Tennessee will go under. Ohio State covers against Nebraska.
What is this? What was
Parlay
this,
that for it.
basketball?
This is top 25 games going on today.
You said who?
I'm not even looking at the lines and not even knowing what they are. Baylor covers, Notre Dame and Virginia hit the under. Missouri, Tennessee hit the under, and because they never have high, they never. It's always a defensive game between those two. And then Ohio State covers against Nebraska because Nebraska basketball is just as bad as its football, which is sad.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys got for today? I'm not a betting man. I really don't know. I like hearing that stuff though, because then it's like
I just
you
got
get to see if they won or not.
Yeah, you get to see if you're right. Maybe we take a drive to Iowa and go to a nice casino and put some parlays in.
You want to go to Iowa?
Yeah, let's
Is
go.
that where the closest bet bank is?
Yeah, we go to Omaha.
Yeah.
Which is a 4-hour drive, and we cross the border from Omaha to Iowa.
Early Final Four picks: Gonzaga, Baylor, KU, Missouri. Who knows in this season, man? Will we even have a Final Four?
Gonzaga. That's in.
KU's too good of a team this year to not be in it. I feel like unless they meet Gonzaga.
KU likes breaking my heart. It's just so early to call because I feel like there's going to be some type of upset. I don't know how
was
big,
supposed to play Gonzaga this
but
year.
there's going to be something unexpected that happens.
It already has happened. Missouri's a top 25 team.
I
That's
don't-
unexpected as it gets.
I always think Villanova's someone to watch out for. Baylor's just got to show up. And the thing is, KU hasn't played Baylor yet. So once they play them twice
KU's schedule's nuts.
in a tough Big 12, once we see who comes out of that conference, we see what happens with some of these ACC teams, see what Duke can do.
I think I told you this year, but this is my favorite KU team that they've had in the last 5 years.
I do like this.
This is my favorite team to watch because everyone has a role. You know, it's not just focused around 3 players or anything. Anyone can step up into it. I mean, that's shown already early this season. You know, you're not relying on Frank, Devontae, and Josh to be the 66% of the scorers like we saw our sophomore year. You're not relying on Landon Lucas just to get a double-double. And was that the year after? I'm trying to think. That was the year after.
And I don't think Iowa. I think Iowa is. People love Garza, but
No, I hate Iowa, man. I hate Iowa. I hate Iowa. I hate Purdue. I hate Big Ten basketball in general.
again, it's really Gonzaga's the only lock. Kansas, Villanova, Baylor. I mean, that's just the rest of the top 4. But I feel like those would be the next 3 up, and then it's
we saw
really
Houston lose yesterday.
Yeah, that's why. And I don't want to say Kansas, Villanova, and Yeah, because those are the top four. We've only seen it once where all top four all number one seeds make it.
What if I had a question. I can't remember it now. I was gonna ask what people have been watching on TV. What's everybody's New Year's Eve plans?
Yeah, what's everyone's New Year's Eve plans?
As we hit the 1 hour. Creighton? I don't know. Creighton. It's too early in the basketball season. We're just starting conference play today. Or SEC is at least.
I mean,
Big 12's already started.
Yeah. You look at Creighton, right? Creighton's
here.
They lost to Marquette, right? I think Marquette. I feel like I was looking at something. They were a fine team, right?
Wisconsin lost to Maryland already.
They lost to KU in a close game. So, I mean, maybe Creighton, because I feel like Creighton has. See, Creighton's part of that field.
Like we've seen in the year of COVID,
But
it's going to be those teams who have the coach. The
Creighton had it
roster.
last year. They had the top team last year, and
It's gonna
What
be
happened
it's gonna be that team that can play a game, and then hey, you got to go play tomorrow too, and it's gonna be those guys that can win those games.
again, that's why this is going to be this
March.
and this NCAA tournament is going to be perfect for the 2020 year. We just don't know. Maybe it's like every other NCAA tournament, but it's just because so many teams. Like the reason I mentioned Duke, they're ranked in the bottom 5 of the top 25, right? They're 21-20. Who know? They haven't got warm yet. They haven't found their groove.
The teams that make it are the teams that do make it to the Final Four, and this is the most stupidest take that you're gonna hear all day. Probably the teams who make it to the Final Four, they're gonna be the 4 teams that deserve it. Because I feel like every year we hear 4 teams that they shouldn't have made it. They shouldn't have made it. They got lucky.
I see where you're going,
But
I feel like it's going to be. I feel like there might be a surprise. I'm not saying another 11, another 7 seed, but there's going to be some upset that just knocks everything off. Look at Tony's question.
Super Bowl coin toss, heads or tails? Are you putting in your bet already?
Tails.
Tails? I think it was tails. Cheap.
But I thought they don't do heads or tails. I thought they do the 2 logos.
Yeah, they do the Super Bowl logo, and then they do the NFL crest, I believe. The Super Bowl logo for that year, and then the crest, something like that. I almost bought the memorabilia for that because it was so cheap. Once the Chiefs won the Super
Was
Bowl,
it
you want some
Fanatics?
memorabilia. Yeah, Fanatic stuff.
Wow, up to 75% off. You can get a Charlotte Bobcats tote bag for $2.99.
There's some cool stuff on there. They're cheap. Look at you. But how much is shipping and handling?
Well, you get free
$5.99.
shipping if it's over $100.
Of course you do. So what you're saying is we need to get like 50
Tote bags? But there's not many in stock.
and we can give them away.
Yeah, Charlotte Bobcats tote bag.
Do you want to sit in on the Coffee's On stream?
I'm starting to get tired,
Bidding
but
starts
these
at
are some
$1.
good questions. Where does Bieniemy end up next season?
So ESPN just put out a thing on yesterday. I'll share that with you. Me and our mom were playing it with this.
I want
morning.
him to go Jackson.
It's gonna be updated.
And
Jacksonville's becoming the prime time spot.
because my thing is, I want him to do well. And so I would say I'd like him to go Chargers if they have a head coach.
You said you want him to go to hell?
No, I want him to do well.
Oh, my bad.
But the problem is we're going to play Chargers twice, and maybe the Chiefs don't want him to go to Chargers because then they're going to know. They're going to know everything. That's that big problem.
I just went to Twitter, and I think this is just funny. I just seen the first tweet that came up. It was in quotes, and it said, "Someone told me if you think Dan Sorensen's a Pro Bowler, then you should go. Then you need help."
Ooh, Dan Sorensen. Is this his best season of his NFL career?
Yeah, but it's also Ben Neiman, so it's not saying much.
But Sorensen, I feel like he's irritated me less this year than in years past. Ever since he showed up.
Because there's been too many other people on the team to frustrate you. I'm frustrated. All right, so here's what came up on ESPN today. They grade. You can get your coaches, and they grade each team. So here's
But only the 3 available teams.
Yes, the only 3 available teams. So Jacksonville still has Doug Marrone for some reason at their head coach. Is still there. So the Falcons, they grade that as a D for Eric Bieniemy.
And I don't really like these 3 teams because I feel like the Falcons. We know the Lions, but they're in rebuilding mode. Falcons are in rebuilding mode. Who do the Texans have?
They say it's an A for Bieniemy. I understand this because you can go there and Sean Watson's there, but it's still you don't have a first round pick unless you can trade yourself into the first round. If you're the Texans, that's great. But Armand, I know this is not the team that you would want him to see him go
not
to.
Texans, because the Texans franchise, and the fact that they don't have many draft picks, they don't have much capital, but they have Deshaun Watson, they've got J.J. Watt, they have some good pieces. They don't have Hopkins anymore. That would have been great.
That would have been amazing. They don't have a first round pick anymore either. Jeez. See, who was it? Bibbs talking about offensive lineman earlier. There you go. The Texans traded a first round pick for Laramie Tunsil. There you go.
That was a horrible.
And then the Lions.
That's what happens
Lions.
when you have your head coach as your GM.
Yeah. That's when you have an idiot at GM.
He's going to Jets.
No, because Jets haven't fired Adam Gase yet, and I know Bieniemy wouldn't go to New York. No, he does not go to the. He might go to the Jets. Tony's got a good point. Jets, Jaguars, they're better suitors than the Lions.
I'm forgetting
and the Texans.
Will he might go or not. I'm thinking of how well he could do with the Jets.
Talk to him.
I don't know. I'm thinking
Oh.
because they get.
I know that
second
Andy
pick.
Reid's former assistant coaches that are now head coaches, current head coaches combined record is better than Bill Belichick's.
If Peterson has a Super Bowl.
Peterson has a Super Bowl. Yeah, a couple of his assistants got Super Bowls before Andy Reid got his first, and that's what you gotta love. He's a great leader because he knows that.
So
his
then
assistants
maybe-
will be something better.
Danny, if that's your thing about Bieniemy, then Jacksonville might be perfect because you're going to get a top quarterback. I'm not saying he's Mahomes, but he's a top quarterback.
Eric Bieniemy just relays the plays in the Mahomes boy.
Yeah.
They call it
The
out.
thing about that trade, about any of those Houston trades, is that I felt like they
All
were.
right.
He had a vengeance. He had to have a vengeance for Houston because he shot Houston in the foot with those trades.
Uh-huh.
No matter who he was getting, who was the name of the Cardinals running back? I never liked
David
him.
Johnson.
That's on fantasy. But they
But they
got
got-
Johnson, right? Who
But they
at
got a
some
fourth round pick
points,
too, Armand.
who at some points was a top running back, right? But who did they give up? And that's
Some points, but that's when he was. That was like before the last
and
2
that's
years.
the end. So yeah, Tunzel probably that's a great
What's the-
building block.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what other building blocks do you have?
Anyway, but Eric, for the Texans,
Yeah, but we don't. They again, the draft picks is big, and you spend so much money on. That's the thing. You can spend so much money, and I keep talking about
they got the
investments.
quarterback from Jacksonville.
You have to protect your investment. You're not protecting Watson because you aren't finding him weapons.
Yeah.
You found the quarterback. You don't have the head coach. You don't have the weapons.
Guess what? Yeah, Watson. Tunzel's a top 3 left tackle in the league, but Watson is still top 3 and most sacked quarterback in the league. And the left tackle is your most important offensive lineman. They don't have any pieces around
He's
them.
going to pickleball. Have fun.
Bye. Have fun at pickleball. No, you pick your ball. Stop picking your balls.
oh
Pickleball.
I'm actually him going to the Jets.
It's not
I'm
terrible.
afraid. I'm afraid he's. It's just. I'm afraid that position isn't going to do well. But someone can do it right. I just want them to get that receiver. And then if Darnold isn't what you think, guess what you can do next year? Bless you, you can get a quarterback.
Yeah. I don't hate the Jets take. I don't hate it. I just think the Jets are stupid enough to keep Adam Gase around for another year. Because they're stupid. The Jets are stupid. Stupid. They're idiots.
Well, it's a second brother franchise, right? It's a younger brother franchise, right? It's the Jets in New York. I feel like the Jets are underlooked by the Giants. The Jets have been to one Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Giants have done a lot. Yeah, it's the other way around. No, actually, I don't know. I lied. I think you're right. The Giants were the New York team of like the 80s and 90s. Got the Super Bowl in the 2000s. That's a Danny Falcon question. Were the Jets ever New York's team pre-80s, pre-Phil Simms?
They probably were. That one year they made to the Super Bowl, Joe Namath. And
That was like 70,
That was
72,
70.
73?
No, that was right before. Yeah, that was right before Chiefs won the Super Bowl because that was Super Bowl 3.
Yeah. So New York's always been the Giants, I guess. So yeah, you're right. They've always been little brother.
So that's the thing.
Hmm.
Maybe they got to move to Brooklyn.
I think if Jacksonville calls, that's where Bieniemy goes because you get your quarterback. I like the Jacksonville's owner. I really like Jacksonville's owner.
He's the only Don White owner.
Yeah, I like him so much. No.
And, he
knows what he's doing down there.
You got Chark.
You got Chark. You got a reliable.
But you got to find Bieniemy's the coach. Who are you gonna get for GM? Maybe you get Riddick.
Yeah. Maybe you go out and get Riddick. He's interviewed. I don't know. I know he's interviewed for Detroit's job already, but I don't see Detroit taking them because once again, ownership. Detroit's not.
I think Riddick would be good. I think Riddick could be a good GM. I feel like he'd be good with Bieniemy too. I don't know.
Well, he was one of the only ones other than Gruden that liked Patrick Mahomes going to the Chiefs.
He loves Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. He thought that was an excellent move. Watson better than Mahomes. Can you imagine that? I don't like that question.
Next question.
I don't know.
Watson's pretty good. And I think we're in an age where we're getting all these pretty good quarterbacks, but
damn good quarterbacks.
But the second guy and the guy on the ladder.
I think Watson is a bad decision maker because he also puts himself into those positions to get sacks as well.
The guy in the ladder, I don't need to talk about his even resume. So that's the hard thing. It's hard to live up to him until you do what he's already done. That's Mahomes. First year he sat. Second year wins.
You can't.
MVP,
you're right. You're right.
Super
No, you're right. Armand is right here. You can't imagine Watson being better than Mahomes because no one did what Mahomes had done.
Once someone does it, that's the thing. Once someone can do it, and how much of that is because Mahomes was put in a system that had gone to the playoffs 4 out of the last 5 years, that had a head coach, that had some other weapons, had some average. Maybe below average defense, maybe below average protection.
The defense was better than the offense at one point.
In our lives.
The first 2 years that. Hey, Trey, you picked the topic. We just here to discuss. You picked the topic. Should have
came an hour ago. We're on Central Time.
Trey, shout out East Coast, shout out Maryland. Talk about, man. We already talked about the Steelers. I know you guys want to see the Ravens again. You ain't shy in the group chat.
My friend Ben said he's not afraid of the. I honestly.
And why should you be? You'll beat RG3. I'm joking. The AFC is dangerous. The AFC is dangerous. The NFC is dangerous. Is not safe. How about that? The NFC is not safe. The AFC is dangerous. Austin Rivera, do you agree with everyone else saying Rodgers is MVP over Mahomes? Or even Allen? No, Allen over Mahomes is no longer a discussion. And do you think the Chiefs are in trouble playoffs because of the last month of play we just had? What was wrong? What was wrong with the last month of play the Chiefs just had? I think the Chiefs haven't lost a game since week 6. Mahomes' worst game is 250 yards with 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty good game. Rodgers had that game in the NFC Championship last year.
I like dividing the schedule in the quarters, right? You got 4 quarters, 16 games. You look at this last quarter, these last 4 games, we played against 2 almost playoff teams. And each of those last quarters, in the first 3 quarters, we never played more than one playoff team.
No. Rodgers is the MVP this year because of the expectations that the Packers had. The only reason I give it to Mahomes is because of that 4-game stretch, or just because of the resume and strength of wins that they have. I think that that alone puts him over Rodgers, but Rodgers statistically and going against the critics and having a season.
He's just complaining about, but he's right.
Jerk-offs, yeah. I can't listen to those jerk-offs. I can't listen to them either, Austin. They're.
Because in the end, you can play.
That's what we call bandwagon fans. They came in when the winning was happening. They didn't come in when the losing was happening.
You can play ugly, right? But if you win ugly, what's the first word? You still won. And
the NFL.
Winning, and the thing about NFL is, one game you win ugly, that doesn't mean you're going to be ugly the next day.
Mm-hmm.
You got 7 days, 6 days maybe in the playoffs. You got almost a week. to address whatever needs to be addressed. Maybe the last 4 weeks, Chiefs haven't addressed it, but guess what? They still at least keep winning. They find a way to win, and that's what's difficult for other teams looking at this Chiefs team. That if the offense isn't doing good, like some people want to argue about these last 3 games, I saw one thing, and I'm not arguing against it, that said maybe that last Falcons game was the first bad game for Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's because a bad Mahomes game is an average game for someone else. I don't know. But an ugly win is a win.
Miami, but yeah, that's a good. I'm glad that Austin addressed that because Chiefs fans were being a little selfish after the Falcons win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They've been selfish since the
They have.
Bucks game.
They've been
Since the
selfish
Bucks
since
game.
we realized what Mahomes is.
But those are
But our friend in the East Coast even knows.
yeah.
Mahomes is fine.
And you know what? That's what our roommate would say also, the Ravens fan. He's told us y'all need to stop stressing. You have Mahomes.
And what does he say? That Denver game, 5 minutes in, what did he say? Well, it's going to be another game where you guys just win in the end.
Yep.
When I was watching at home, what did my mom say after the Falcons game? Terrell was right. Another game, we're winning in the end.
All right, so let's talk about Miami because I like that. Let's get into Miami. They are the number one defense. They remind me of the Chiefs team when Andy Reid first came, where turnovers were huge, where turnover differential was big, was a big stat for Kansas City, and they had an all right quarterback with Alex Smith. Where I think that the Miami Dolphins are kind of different is I think they got a better offense than the Chiefs did back then, and that was a Chiefs offense with I think Jamal Charles in the lineup too. Yeah, because he got injured in that playoff game against the Colts. But the Miami defense is doing. They just need to play. They just need to play their They just need to play their game. If Miami plays their game, they can move pretty far in the playoffs. They could beat the Tennessee Titans if they do that because I feel like a good defense can beat a great offense when Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback, and that's something that you can go into when making a game plan when you're playing Tennessee because that's who Miami is scheduled to play right now at the playoffs for the start. They're taking on the Titans in Tennessee, and what you can do to focus around that is you can if you stop the run and make Tannehill have to pass into that secondary that is dangerous, that dangerous Miami secondary. I couldn't even imagine right now. I want to compliment your team here, Trey, for a second. Imagine if Miami had the front seven of Pittsburgh and then the secondary that they have now. That would be an elite defense. The secondary that they have now, they need to use to their advantage, and that's pressuring the other teams to pass the football. What I like what Miami has is that they can make that quarterback switch if they need to. They can bring in a quarterback with legs, and they can bring in a quarterback that has a high IQ in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And that
I want to see that in the playoffs. Be switching up because it's not going to throw you off your game, Brian
I don't think
Flores.
that's a bad thing. And I saw a tweet that said people complaining about the coaching carousel for Miami, and someone responds and says, "Doesn't matter. They're 10-5." And I told both my parents that. I say 10-5. They're 10-5. That's a good record for a team that's going to have the third pick for a team that wasn't supposed to make the playoffs.
Right. Your friend Logan pointed it out earlier. He asked us who was going to make that bigger jump. Was it going to be who's going to be that Miami team next year? I thought Arizona was going to be that team this year, and they still have a shot at the playoffs, but they collapsed. Not like Miami. They did not break under pressure.
So Trey's a Steelers fan?
Yeah.
So who are you? I want to know who's other Steelers fans. Are you afraid of anyone playing in the wild card?
We talked about.
Or are you not afraid?
Yeah. Who are the Steelers? Who are the Steelers wanting to play, and who are they not wanting to face in that wild card game? We'll see you guys. Also, I'm looking for a reasoning as to why it's starting Mason Rudolph. We had one Steelers fan here in Kansas City tell us that it was because the seeding doesn't matter for y'all because you'll take the 7th seed or the 6th seed matchup. Because you guys can't fall to the 4th seed now. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to see Miami either because Miami was a bad test for Mahomes. It was a good test. Sorry, a good test. A good challenge for Mahomes because they kind of played the same defense that we saw Miami play in the heavy secondary, loading up that backfield and not focusing more on the rush. But they were still able to get to Mahomes. He had a 33-yard sack drop.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I never did this.
Steelers should be, Austin. They should be. They should be afraid of everyone right now. They should but that's not the Steelers though. They play with that confidence. That's not them.
That's my only thing.
That's not the Steelers. Mike Tomlin ain't going to put that mindset
and
into his
that's
teammates.
the thing. Tomlin's a polished Super Bowl winning coach. Has been to 2 Super Bowls. Ben Roethlisberger, same thing. Has won 2. Has been to 3 Super Bowls.
Yep.
experience matters at some. For the Chiefs, they got that experience because they have that lucky diamond that plays like he's 29.
And we saw that, and I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna throw the Browns underneath the bus here, but I'm gonna kind of take a jab at them. Yeah, you lost because they were hurting against the Browns. They hurt against the Browns. They lost. They're like Florida today. They lost their receivers, but Kevin Stefanski could have still won that football game because it's the Jets. You should still be able to beat the Jets in that situation. With the run game that you have. And he didn't use that to his advantage, and his coaching lost in that game, and his team is now playing for a playoff spot. But that's where you're at. That's where experience matters, and that's why I like Brian Flores a lot, because he's he's from the Belichick tree, and he's
doing well.
He's doing well.
He helped us last year, and now he's helping himself.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I didn't play with? The playoff machine, NFL playoff machine on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
You predict the games, and then it says what are the teams. Because what we said earlier is that any of these teams that are in the running for the wild card in the AFC, they can finish 5, 6, 7. In fact, 4 is still in play.
Trey, you guys are playing the Browns right now, or excuse me, the Ravens. Ravens are the 6th seed, and then Browns are the 7th seed. If Ravens win and Browns lose, Ravens stay the 6th seed, and Colts and Browns flip.
Well, that's the thing. This NFL playoff machine. You tell me.
Share your screen.
Okay.
Because that's good, actually. Get that playoff screen up.
Sometimes my volume doesn't work when I share my screen.
It works when the main screen's up, just like when you were doing your board.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. We'll get the playoff machine up here. I think my phone died. Oh, no, it didn't. It just froze. Cool. All right.
Okay. I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yeah.
All right. So basically what I did.
Yeah, sure. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so what I did was, right, who's winning and win percentage. I picked win percentage just to see who's the best team, and let's say the best team wins each game.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want, we can go through each game, all right? Who do you think's going to win Miami, Buffalo? Let's say Buffalo. Who do you think's going to win this? That doesn't matter. Who
This
do you
is
think's
awesome.
going to win that? You say that. Yeah, you've never played with this.
Yeah.
You can do this starting with the last.
Let me say,
4
I'm
weeks.
gonna give it to the Browns because they're playing for something, and the Steelers are starting Mason.
Let's say
Rudolph.
that doesn't matter. I don't know who you think. Let's say whoever you want. Cowboys. Let's
Yeah,
say
okay.
that one doesn't matter.
That's
That
just
one,
good.
let's say Bucks.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Houston.
Let's
That
say
matters.
Tennessee.
I say Tennessee.
Colts
And
beat
then,
Jags.
let's say Colts.
Yeah, because Jags are playing for the.
That one doesn't matter. That one, let's say Chiefs. Let's say there's for benefit of that. Let's say
Yeah.
that. That one, I'm pretty sure Green Bay. I'm pretty sure New Orleans.
We're doing AFC right now, so yeah.
Yeah, this. Let's say Arizona wins, but yeah,
Okay.
you're only focusing on AFC because Rams don't have a quarterback, or they don't have their top quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Seattle wins that, and I don't know who wins that. That's only for NFC. That's why
Yeah.
that matters.
That's why that matters.
But you said you want to look at AFC. Kansas City, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Baltimore. I don't know why I read it like that, but we got Indy playing Buffalo.
You read it like the Rally House commercial.
Yeah.
Missouri, Kansas
Oh,
City,
oh,
Kansas
no.
City, we both be great.
Indy playing Buffalo, Cleveland playing Pittsburgh, Baltimore playing Tennessee. Obviously, this is in play. If they have the same record or Buffalo has a better record, Buffalo gets it. The only way
Mhm.
Pittsburgh gets it is if Pittsburgh wins and Buffalo loses.
Mhm.
But that's not what happened. Here we see they're both 11-5, and even Indianapolis is still 11-5. They need one of them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look like they will. That's a lock. It doesn't look like. What was the other one? Doesn't look like either would lose.
The
That's
other
a
one be
big one.
Miami.
That's a big one, yeah.
Where is Miami? Did Miami get out of it now?
Because they lost.
I see. All right, so
But
let's
if
say
Miami wins, that shakes up everything. That moves. With a Miami win, that puts Miami at the 5 and moves Baltimore and Cleveland here.
All right, let's say Cleveland loses and the Steelers win again with Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
Okay. The Steelers win.
Ooh.
But then did Buffalo win?
Buffalo did not. No, Miami won.
Miami won?
Mm-hmm.
So Steelers win and Miami wins. I bet he can't hear us. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. And Miami wins, right?
Mm-hmm. Miami, Tennessee.
If
Honestly,
Miami
that
hits your wins-
that may be the best matchup for the Steelers right there. Is if they win. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean that's what it is. We're just playing around. We
So
were
let's do-
really playing with these two.
Let's
games.
say Cleveland. Let's say Cleveland beats the Steelers.
Okay.
Let's say who's Raven playing? Let's say the Bengals beat the Ravens because they did that 4 years ago. They did beat the Ravens in their own house when the Ravens were playing for a spot in the playoffs.
Then the Ravens. You know what? Then Miami's licking their lips
Mm-hmm.
because Miami can lose and still go in. If Ravens lose, it's these other two teams that win: Indianapolis and Cleveland. And the thing is, I think Tennessee and Indianapolis play in the afternoon for their division.
See right here, I think the higher seeds win because I think even with Miami's defense, number one defense,
You still think Buffalo wins?
I think that they could.
And you think Cleveland
Right
beats
now,
Pittsburgh?
it used to be defense. A great defense beats a good offense, but a better offense beats
And
a
you
good
think
defense.
Cleveland beats Pittsburgh?
Yeah, because they're starting. Because like I said, Cleveland's playing for something, and Pittsburgh's already saying, "No, we good" by starting Mason Rudolph.
And I think Buffalo. I think Baltimore. They just have something to prove. They just.
Oh, and they play the Bengals.
I do think the Bengals. They've been scary these last few weeks. I don't know how.
Baltimore ain't gonna let that happen.
But
No, they know they can't.
That
let
spread's
happen.
11. Spread's big, but
Let's see the NFC now. Let's have
well,
some
the
fun.
NFC. We
So
got-
there you go, Trey. You can go any other way. You can get the Colts. You can get anyone. You can get anyone. So you know what we're prepared for. I think you guys would rather play the Colts in that.
I
in that
think
one,
they
so.
beat Cleveland,
Yeah, they beat
and
Cleveland.
I think they beat Indy. Somehow, if Tennessee, I don't think
So they're the 4 seed at best then.
who.
Tennessee. Oh no, they can swap.
If Tennessee loses and Indianapolis wins. And then Tennessee's out of the playoffs if all those wild card teams win and Tennessee loses.
That's crazy. An 11-5 team or a 10-6 team will not be in the
yeah,
playoffs.
an 11-5 team. I think last time was the Patriots when Brady was injured. That didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen much. All of them can win. If everyone wins, Colts are out. He said Chiefs, Ravens, Buffalo are teams that
And that's
Will
fine
it
because
can
because
beat
it's
us
hard to
in
beat
that order.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season, and you know.
I agree. So I think you.
Game was close, Chiefs game.
Where'd you go? Well, maybe whoever's still in here, maybe we can look in the NFC, right? Let's look at the NFC. I think Green Bay wins. I think Green Bay beats Chicago. I think with New Orleans, I think they win. I think Seattle, but in my thing, it won't matter. But I think Seattle probably will still win. And then I don't really want to touch these two. I think Tampa Bay wins. And then we got this. Who wins that? And wow, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I think Green Bay beats Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I think New Orleans beats Carolina.
No.
Okay. I think Seattle beats San Francisco.
Okay.
Okay. Now look at this. It goes to Arizona and Rams. If Rams beat Arizona, Chicago's in the playoffs. If Arizona beats Rams, Arizona plays Seattle, Rams play New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Other way around, Rams play Seattle, Bears play New Orleans.
He's saying Atlanta wins, and Atlanta's playing Buccaneers.
Okay, you think Atlanta wins?
Hey,
Fine.
I like that because Atlanta did come out hot on the Buccaneers. They did come out swinging.
Okay, so if that happens, Tampa Bay's already in the playoffs,
Right.
but they'll get that 6th seed.
Mm.
The big game is
Chicago's matchup against Saints in that game
You
because
do?
the Saints have been unlucky. They've had unlucky moments in the playoffs the last 2 years, and I think that Chicago's defense, and I don't know. I know the Saints defense is pretty good, but I like Chicago's chances against New
I'm
Orleans.
just not on Chicago. I don't know.
That's fine.
But I think that I'm
I know.
not that I am on Saints. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not.
No,
but
yeah.
I think they would win that. I don't know about this. And then I haven't even touched this because I don't know. Dallas, New York.
I can go either way.
I could
That
go
game,
either way.
that game only matters if Washington loses.
And no one will know till Sunday Night Football.
No.
That's why.
And I think Jalen Hurts has a bad game in that one.
For Washington's sake, Jeff says, "Am I late?"
No, you're early. We're only an hour and a half in. We got an hour and a half to go. Yeah, my
we
phone
might as well order lunch.
My
I don't
phone
know.
battery won't last that
We
long.
should order lunch. I wonder what to eat for lunch.
Lasagna.
Oh, I guess we have a little left. Saints lose 3 years, and that would shock.
No, on PI calls that don't happen.
Poor Drew Brees, because all the poor man wants is another Super Bowl, and I don't know.
Hey, the Rams one was terrible. We all know. But the Vikings, like Kyle Rudolph, got away with that crap, man. That shit pissed me off because Kyle Rudolph.
It was end of game. If it wasn't end of game, who knows if it would have been called.
That's why I hate the overtime rules.
They should give both teams a chance.
Oh. Yeah, they should do it like college football, except start at the 50 or something.
That just takes away
Start
defense.
at the 30.
I think you should still allow defense to play on. If it's a pickoff, if someone picks you off in college and he runs it back, I think game over.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
game.
you
No,
watch
that's
it.
game. Yeah, that's game.
I think they should let you run it off. But I mean, the NFC's crazy because I don't know this game. But if you think Washington wins, then you're right. That doesn't matter. And Washington, Tampa Bay,
Ooh,
I like that.
that's a fun game.
I like that.
What if Deshaun Watson went to New Orleans and Drew Brees eventually? Then New Orleans is gonna have to eat that contract. I like it, but he's gonna have to eat that contract. They're gonna eat that contract.
The big thing is that contract because they gave Watson a lot of money, probably because he would have wanted to leave.
Mhm.
And what they gave him that money after that trade, and I think Watson looked at the digits rather than the winning. But maybe can't blame him.
I think he signed hoping that the organization would do right with him, and they kind of did get rid of Bill O'Brien. But
They did well.
now
They
let's see
still
what
he's
you
got years on that contract, so hopefully they can do right.
Mm-mm-mm. It's interesting. It's interesting. Playoff picture's nuts. Washington's Tiki, top 5D. Trey, I was saying if Alex Smith comes back, that's a good team right there. That's a good team in the playoffs. Who replaces Chicago if they lose? I'm sorry. I know you. Is it Arizona?
Who replaces Chicago? Well, no, it's not about Chicago. I already said Chicago
Arizona has
loses.
to win.
Yeah, Arizona's.
They're winning. They're in.
They win and they're in unless Chicago wins.
I see. So
Oh
they're in.
shit! If Chicago wins and they, so yeah, Arizona kind of still.
Who
They
just got
win and
knocked
they're
out?
in.
There was a seeding reseeded.
It was that team, the
Rams. Good. Don't put the Rams in the playoffs.
Well,
I hope Arizona.
the Rams are at home and they don't have their quarterback. They might play Bortles.
Oh.
They're trying to get Bortles, but they have
Wasn't
this Wake
Bortles in
Forest
Denver?
guy. That's for you. Best spot near downtown KC for takeout lunch? Garozo's! No,
Nah,
don't eat
go-
Garozo's,
go to-
Jeff. You're going to fall asleep.
Go to Manny's or go to Lulu's. Go to Town Top.
Go to Hamburger Mary's.
Go to Hamburger Mary's. I don't know. Go somewhere on Southwest Boulevard.
Tao Topic, well, I guess that's how takeout.
Frick Frack. That's not downtown Kansas City, but you get some takeout.
But
That's close to
Southwest
that. Close.
Boulevard, that might make you sleepy.
Well, where's he at? He's at Children's Mercy.
Yeah, he's downtown.
Oh, go get Gates. Gates is right down the street.
Damn, you're giving him sleepy food. He's going to be falling asleep.
Man, I'm falling asleep right now.
Yeah, we need to eat.
Yeah, we need to get some energy in us.
I really think we should get some lunch. It's New Year's Eve.
You're over here giving me that smile. We need to go get lunch.
Yeah, I know. It's New Year's Eve.
It's New Year's Eve.
New Year's.
Don't you want to go out tomorrow when it's New Year's Eve?
We're not going out tomorrow.
You're going out tomorrow.
For dinner, yeah.
Mr.
But that's a
Herford House.
fancy dinner, but...
Chipotle.
no. Jeff, tell yourself this. You get Chipotle if you walk to Chipotle. You got to earn it.
Tell him. Look in your camera and tell that to him.
If you want to eat Chipotle, you have to walk to Chipotle.
What is your first meal of 2021?
My first meal of 2020 was Chipotle.
We can't say that on air.
My first meal of 2021. I don't know.
This is our New Year's Eve episode.
Yeah. Hopefully
Hopefully we'll make it into next year.
the new year brings lots of cheer. love and happiness
Wow.
for all
Wow.
for all this year.
We are getting tired. That coffee's coming down.
Yeah, I kind of want to lay down right there.
There you go. You gonna go lay down? All right.
Not in my room, just there.
Just on the floor in the living room.
Watch some TV.
Live on the floor.
Yeah, in your spot. When you're not in that spot, I'm in.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
All right.
Well, happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New
I hope
Year.
we had some good playoff talk today. Hopefully, he said we may. He said hopefully we make it to next year.
That's all we can do. All
Yeah.
we can do is hope.
Hopefully we can survive for the next 2 days.
Hope that the new year brings joy, happiness for all the cheer. I saw this joke that said it says actually it was to learn something about psychological how you remember things.
Yeah.
Let's say someone comes to a bar and asks for your number, right? But you don't want to know, you don't want them to say your number, you don't want them to remember your number.
Yeah.
You don't have to give a fake number. How would you say your number? Like, I'm not saying this is your number, but you would say like 816, right? 545, right? You say it in a pattern, 7577. Say it like this: 81657 68453.
Wow. Oh wow.
Just
That's
say it in a different way.
There's your life lesson.
Just
The
say
last
it in a
lesson of
different-
2020.
You don't need a fake number. You just need to say it in a different way because our mind thinks in patterns. We think an area code for first 3 digits, and then you divide the next 4. But think it differently. When someone creepy comes in your life, you don't have to make something a lie. You don't have to make a lie. You just have to do what you do normally a little differently. And that's what we had to do this year, and that's what we're going to have to do next year. Happy New Year, everyone.
I'm leaving on that.
See you later.
Peace.